I'm Sydney Hay, and I approved this message, and so did Rowdy. Here it all began, September of 1964. Arizona Senator Barry Goldwater stood here on the steps of the courthouse in Prescott and launched his campaign for the presidency. He warned us that government that's big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take away everything you have. 1 month later, Ronald Reagan ignited the conservative movement in America in a speech endorsing Barry Goldwater, a speech titled A Time for Choosing. It is time for choosing again. Ronald Reagan told us that you and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We can preserve this, the last best hope of mankind on earth, for our children and our children's children, or sentence them to take that last step into 1,000 years of darkness. If we fail, at least let our children and our children's children say of us that we justified our brief moment here. We did all that we could do. That's why I'm proud to be here at a place of conservative history to talk about my campaign for Congress. I'm Sydney Hay. I'm proud to have served on the board of the Goldwater Institute and to have the endorsement of Congressman Barry Goldwater Jr. Barry Goldwater, Ronald Reagan, and the Republican Congress of 1994 fought on principle and won. They fought on tax cuts, limited government, entrepreneurship, and a strong national defense. These are the issues I fought for in Arizona and won.
Hello, I'm Congressman Trent Franks. You know, Arizona had suffered 9 straight years of tax increases when Sydney Hay ran and won the campaign to require a supermajority vote for any tax increase. And now, thanks to Sydney Hay, Arizona has not had 1 tax increase in 15 years. After others had tried twice and failed, it was Sydney Hay who ran the campaign to remove the property tax on Arizona's livestock. This helped Arizona's farmers and ranchers tremendously. And it was also Sydney Hay who won the change to require that special elections for tax increases be held on regular election dates, not at some obscure or hidden time. A former school teacher herself, Sydney Hay has been a tremendous leader in Arizona's education reforms that made Arizona the leader of the nation in charter schools, that provided scholarships for disabled and foster kids, and that passed tax credits for both private and public schools that are now the model for the nation. You know, Sydney Hay is a small business owner herself, and she was the one that led the charge in regulatory reform that prevented Arizona's small businesses from being tied up in all the bureaucratic red tape. And you know, we all need to remember that it is small businesses like this that are ones that provide most of the jobs for most of the people in Arizona. After several Arizona legislators went to prison for bribery and corruption, it was Sydney Hay who fought and won the ethics reforms for lawmakers that banned gifts from lobbyists, that banned fundraising while legislators are in session, and that fought to make it illegal for lawmakers to take campaign funds for personal use. She also successfully fought for term limits. These are the kind of successful house cleaning reforms that we also need in the United States Congress. And there is no doubt that Sydney Hay is Arizona's most successful advocate for meaningful conservative change. And that's why we all need Sydney Hay in the United States Congress. Anti-tax increase, anti-big government, pro-gun, pro-life, pro-small business. Sydney Hay is a conservative in Arizona's finest tradition. So let's send Arizona's most successful advocate for conservative change back to Washington. I need her help back there.
Hey, I'm Sydney, out on the campaign trail. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey Sydney, what is your view on death and taxes?
I'm against both, but I'm really against the death tax. If Congress doesn't act soon, in 3 short years, our family-owned small businesses, ranches, and farms will face up to a 55% inheritance tax, meaning many of these businesses and farms will have to be sold just to pay the tax. That's wrong.
Hey Sydney, what do you think about gun control?
Gun control? I use both hands on my Colt Python. I'm a proud lifetime member of the NRA, and Americans proficient in the safe use of firearms have protected our liberties since Lexington and Concord.
Hey Sydney, do you like dogs and horses?
I love dogs, especially our dogs Rowdy and Kensington, and our horse Earl. This is Rowdy, Kensington and Earl are at home, and this is my husband Dan.
Hey Sydney, do you have kids and grandkids?
I sure do. My daughter Sarah, my son Andrew, my son-in-law Ron, and 3 grandchildren.
Andrew, Kayla, Sophia.
Hey Sydney, what are we going to do about illegal immigration?
Illegal immigration? It's illegal. Border security is national security. First, we secure our borders, then we enforce our immigration laws, and only then can we fix what's broken with our immigration system.
Hey, Sydney, gas prices are so high. What are we going to do about energy independence?
Produce more and use less to reduce our dependence, and pursue renewable alternatives like solar here in sunny Arizona. The federal government can do its part too, through fluorescence and flex fuel vehicles. Saves energy and saves taxpayers money at the same time. We can all do our part.
Hey, Sydney, what about Arizona jobs in the mining industry?
I'm proud to be president of the Arizona Mining Association. It is an industry that provides $4.7 billion in economic growth to the state of Arizona. And 24,000 jobs depend upon the mining industry here in Congressional District 1 of Arizona. And I'm standing with mining in Arizona, with the men and women that produce those strategic minerals that are vital to the future of the United States of America. We don't need to be dependent on foreign sources for our strategic minerals like we are dependent on foreign sources for our energy.
Hey, Sydney, is it true that married people pay higher taxes?
It used to be, and it will be again soon at the federal level if Congress doesn't act. I led the team that eliminated the marriage penalty here in Arizona.
Hey, Sydney, what should we do about Iraq?
This is really serious. No matter what you think about how we got into Iraq, we're there now, and we need to win. Defeat is not an option. My son-in-law, Ron, is a veteran of the Gulf War and also Operation Iraqi Freedom. We need to make sure that soldiers like Ron have all the training and equipment they need and the best strategy in order to win. The Iraqi politicians need to step it up so that we can finish the job, so that my son-in-law's service will have made a difference, and so that my grandchildren never have to go back. If you have any other questions at all, I hope you'll give me a call. My home number is 928-286-1128. That really is my home number, and I hope you'll call me. Or check out my website, SydneyHayForCongress.com. There you'll find detailed positions on healthcare, foreign policy, and more. And I hope I'll see you soon. Now I hope you know a little bit more about me, the things I stand for, the things I've fought for and won. I fought for decades for conservative change in Arizona, for families, for taxpayers, for businesses, for children. I want to take that passion to Washington, D.C. to work for you. We have a tradition in Arizona of strong conservative leadership. Help me continue that tradition. Let's make a difference together. I ask for your support and your vote.